My name is Leonardo Martinelli. I'm the director of the short film Fantasma Neon, in English Neon Phantom, and I'm a student at PUC-Rio. Fantasma Neon is an hybrid short film that mixes some elements of documentary and fiction and portraying delivery workers in Brazil. And the thing about delivery workers in Brazil and many other informal jobs is that many labor rights are being extinguished in Brazil. So people are working in really humiliating conditions at sometimes, and delivery workers may be the face of this new kind of work. So that was even more intensified with the pandemic of COVID-19. So we bring these kind of workers, these informal workers, to talk about the issues that they live through their work, but we do it through musical cinema, through mixing elements of musical cinema, documentary, and fiction. Two starting points for the film. The thing was we would like to make a musical about delivery workers. That was like the pitch. And musicals usually are about up and coming people, like they're going to be singers, artists, and usually it's such a middle or high class thing. So bringing a musical now, that's a genre that usually is for the rich, about rich people, the people are that back they end up becoming rich, to talk about the extreme social and economical issues that Brazil's facing. Like, I think it's an interesting contrast. It puts even more weight to the things that they go through. Since it's an hybrid film, there are actually actors, but there are actually real delivery workers among the cast, among the extras. Some of the faces that we see in the beginning of the film, while we hear some of their stories, are actually real delivery workers. And our main actor, he was from theater, but before I saw him in a play. But before he was a theater actor, he actually worked as a delivery man in his hometown for a few years. When I met him, he was already an artist, but he also had this trajectory behind him. So the film mixes both actors and real delivery workers. It was really few days. It was only 5 days of shooting. For a short film, I think it's like a regular basis, but for a short film with so many locations and so many extras was a bit hard. We had to do a bit hush, and we had to do it in the middle of the pandemic because we got the film funding from an emergency fund for artists during the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a very small fund, but we thought, no, we have to do this film now. It's the moment for it. And the deadline for delivering our project was really tight, so we had no option, sadly, but it all worked out. And we got our protections. There were no COVID cases among our film, so it all ended up all right. I think the editing process is really close to what we were planning on the script, but we got a really good editor, and especially on the music scenes, you have to have like a really planned what you're going to do, because you can't take a shot out because there's the song. So if one shot falls down, what you're going to do with the music? So we have to really plan how you're going to shoot the music scenes. But we got a really amazing editor, Lobo Mauro, who managed to find ways, and it all ended up right, especially on the first music scene that they're singing on the street at night. And it was a bit more free with the editing. So it was a mixture. Like, most of the things were planned already, but we managed to find some nice extra cuts in the editing room. In a dream film school, I think that would be funds to help finance this film from students. I don't know about other countries, but that's something that simply does not happen in Brazil. There are simply no funds for student films inside schools, which is a pity because Brazil has so many talents, so many nice filmmakers that have a hard time getting financed on their projects, especially if they're students. So my dream school would finance a few student short films. I once heard a sentence that it's really interesting. It's not mine, but I think it sums up very interestingly. That is, cinema is to make light, to move the world. because cinema is light. It's just spectrums and layers of lights getting through a camera, and making that move the world, making that change things for yourself or others, or maybe both, if you get it right. That's what we're trying to do, at least.